Hi students, welcome back to our classes. Today we are going to deal with the second lesson, the making of nationalism in Europe, which is from the first unit of history. That is the rise of nationalism in Europe. Means the first unit is the rise of nationalism in Europe. In that, the second lesson today we are going to deal, that is the making of nationalism in Europe. If you look at the map of mid 18th century of Europe, you will find that there were no nation states as we know them today. Means presently whatever the nation states we are calling Germany, Italy, like that, whatever the present nation states are there, previous in the 18th mid 18th century it was not there in the Europe. Means after the 18th century only they were newly formed states. Okay, what we know today as Germany, Italy, Switzerland divided into kingdoms, duchies and the cantons whose rulers had their autonomous territories. Means previous whatever the presently we are calling it as the nation states, they were previously divided into kingdoms. Okay, they are ruled by the autonomous territories, autonomous rulers means monarchies. Okay, Europe broadly categorized into two Europes. One is the Eastern Europe, another one is the Western Europe. There are autocratic monarchies present here. Who is ruling this Europe? Means autocratic monarchies. Monarchies means entire ruling, entire power will be there in the hands of single person. Okay, these monarchies are from the family hierarchy. Means how they got that power to rule the Europe, means they are from the family hierarchy. Family hierarchy means Vamsaparaparyamu. The monarchy gives clarity itself. They were coming from the hierarchy lines. They are not at all in the favor of or interest of the people. Means the monarchies, those who are ruling the kingdoms in Europe, they were not at all in the favor of people. Means whatever the need, whatever the way they need, they will rule. Means they won't satisfy the people. It should be only they will satisfy themselves. They are not having any collective identity. Means whatever the people, those who are living in this kingdom, they won't have any collective identity. Means collective identity is nothing but common culture or common language or common pattern or religion or anything else. Okay, but why they bond together means, but why these all peoples are bonded together means they are ruled by one common emperor. Okay, this is the main reason why they bond together. Means actually if we'll see in our area, we are living together, but how we are living together, we are having some common culture and common language, but they won't have any common language or common culture or something else, but they are living together. Why? Because why they bonded together means, why? Because they are ruled by only one common emperor. If you see the Habsburg Empire that ruled over Austria and Hungary. Habsburg Empire, Habsburg family, they are ruling the Austria and Hungary. For example, was a patchwork of many different regions and people. It includes the Alpine regions, the Tyrol and Austria and Sudeten land. Okay, Sudeten land. Means under this Habsburg Empire, okay, all these areas are included: Alpine regions, Tyrol, Austria and Sudeten, okay, and Bohemia and Bohemia, mostly they are having the predominantly German speaking people. Okay, and some of them are having the Italian speaking people also in the place of Lombardy and Venetia. Okay, means even though they were living together, but they belongs to different languages, they won't have any common identity. Okay, what is the common identity to live together, to bond themselves together means? It is nothing but only one common emperor. Okay, in Hungary half of the population spoke Magyar. Okay, in Hungary half of the population they will spoke the language Magyar, while the other half spoke a variety of dialects. Dialects means regional languages. Okay, in Galicia the aristocracy spoke Polish. Whatever the aristocracy people was there, they will spoke the Polish. And beside these three dominant groups, they are also lived within the boundaries of the empire. Means not only these dominant groups, three dominant groups, other group peoples also will live in the boundaries of the empire. A mass of subject peasant peoples. Though who is the another group, those who are living under this empire means a mass of subject peasant people. Bohemia and Slovaks to the north, and Slovens in Carniola, okay, Croats to the south, and Romans to the east, and the Transylvania, okay, the Romans to the east in the Transylvania. Means different language people, different area people are living here. Who is that? The peasant means Bohemia and Slovaks to the north. Slovens in Carniola, Carniola, okay, and Croats to the south, and Romans to the east in Transylvania, okay. Such differences did not easily promote a sense of political unity. Means they won't have any common identity, they won't have any common language or common culture or something else. Everyone different means everyone belongs to different languages and a different culture, okay. So here such differences did not easily promote a sense of political unity, okay. Means whenever they had this type of differences, they won't get any unity. The only type bonding these diverse groups together was a common allegiance to the emperor. Why they bonded together? Means the main reason is that they are ruled by only single emperor. How did the nationalism and the idea of the nation state emerge? Means whenever these all people are living by ruled by the emperor, whatever the decisions he was taken by the emperors, it is not satisfied by the people. So everyone is facing the same problem, even though they are not having the common identity here, but everyone is facing the same problem. So everyone started to raise the voice against to the ruler. So this brought the feeling of nationalism in the Europe, okay.